Hello, it's me, Dr. Catherine Toomer, family medicine and community health physician and founder of Total Weight Care Institute. And I'm here today coming to you live from Mexico. And it fits well in within what I'm talking about today because what I will be talking about today is stress and what stress does, how to prevent it. And one of the ways of preventing it is to travel and to do things as best you can when you can. And so I hope you all can hear me because there's a lot of noise in the background. But so essentially, what stress is when anything unexpected happens or anything unpredictable happens that you think is going to overwhelm your coping mechanisms. And that's what causes stress. That's what causes your stress hormones to rise. That's cortisol, epinephrine, norepinephrine to rise. And when they do, they actually cause damage to your body. It causes a constriction of blood vessels in your brain, in your kidneys, to your heart. There are actually types of heart attacks that you can have that have nothing to do with clogged arteries, but simply because of the constriction. And so it's really important to keep stress under control. And the reason that is, again, because stress can actually kill you. It's not even, that's not being hyperbolic. That is absolutely true. And so, what you do in order to understand what stress is and how it's made, again, is because of the overwhelming of your coping mechanisms. Well, either there's one of two things you can do. You can either not overwhelm your coping mechanisms or learn how to cope and adapt better or just prevent what's happening. And so the best way to do that is to take stock of your life, take stock of your job, take stock of your family, your friendships, your interactions with people, and determine what are the ones that are causing you the most problem, and then you work to fix those. And the way you work to fix those is to reverse engineer. Decide where you want to be and work backwards. So, good example. I was under a lot of stress because something unexpected and unpredictable happened. And I had to do something to fix it. And initially I got very, very stressed because I thought my coping mechanisms had been overwhelmed. And it turns out they weren't. I just started planning. So I reversed engineered what did I want to happen and how could I make it happen through steps backwards. And that's how you resolve or reverse stress. Decide what you want and then take the steps to create that. It sounds it's easier said than done, and I understand that. But the other thing that happens is giving yourself something to look forward to. So for me, no matter what stress happens, I always have a trip scheduled. And the reason I do that is because it always gives me something to look forward to. I can just say, let me push through this so that I can get to this place. And right now I'm in Mexico. So all the stresses of last week, the week before, the month before, actually, ever since it was planned, it was just my way of coping, saying, okay, push through this and you will have an opportunity to relax later. Again, some people might say that's a toxic coping mechanism, and it's better just to remove what causes stress in the first place. That is something ultimately that is the ultimate way of relieving stress is just to remove the cause. But if you can't remove the cause, then at least add to your coping and adaptability. And coping and adaptability are really the ultimate in reducing stress by being able to adjust to situations and adapt to what's happening and then plan and to reverse engineer what it is that you want to happen, and then working backwards. And the reason why this is so important is because chronic stress can actually change your genetics. Chronic stress will reduce the ability of your body to correct its DNA. Over time, our DNA breaks in aging. And when you're under stress, there are enzymes that go through and fix the DNA when it's been damaged. When under stress, however, those enzymes no longer work properly and you age faster. It's the reason why people gray faster. It's the reason why presidents look old. Wish I had a picture of the before and after of President Obama in the 8 years that he was in office and how gray he became before and after. But the other thing that happens when you're under chronic stress and your DNA changes, you can pass it on. That genetic change can actually be passed on to your children. So, stress isn't something to be taken lightly. It's actually something that we should really be paying attention to because it affects us on so many levels. So, just like I mentioned earlier, there are blood constriction that happens, small blood vessels constrict due to high levels of epinephrine and norepinephrine. That can happen in your heart. You can have a heart attack with no blockage of your vessels simply from stress. Because when those blood vessels shut down, they cause lack of blood flow to your heart, which is exactly what a heart attack is. It's the lack of blood flow to your heart. When it happens to your brain, it causes dementia. When it happens to your kidneys, it causes kidney failure. When it happens to your fingers and your toes, it leads to cellular death and therefore amputations. So I'll stress again, reducing stress is life-saving. Reducing stress is so important. It's probably the most important thing you can do to help your health. Yes, diet and exercise also help those things. Diet and exercise happen to improve stress levels, but ultimately what you do is anything that helps you cope and adapt to situations that are unpredictable and also unexpected. And when you yourself cannot control those things that happen, if you yourself cannot reverse engineer what it is you want to happen and then get to that point, then what you do is you get help. You ask for help. There's always someone out there who knows what to do, who can help you. And that's what I do. If it's out of my league, if it's out of my realm, then what I do is ask someone for help. There's no shame in that because ultimately what you're doing is saving your own life. So again, I'm Dr. Catherine Toomer, family medicine and community health physician and founder of Total Weight Care Institute, coming to you live from Mexico because that is what I've had to do in order to reduce my stress and to prevent my heart from reacting. I do have a chronic heart disease, it's postpartum cardiomyopathy, and having things to look forward to, having places where I can relax are actually very, very helpful. And so I wanted to go through the questions, see if there's any questions in there or anything else that anyone wants to ask. Yinka Dosumnu says, I'm reading about this and trying to improve my stress levels. I was reading The Body Keeps the Score, and it's eye-opening. Yes, it absolutely is. It's called The Body Keeps the Score. I don't know the author, but you can look it up. Um, Someone is right on time. Yes, I am in Mexico, Dr. Una. I am here near water because, as you know, water relaxes me and it was very much needed. And so, if there's no questions, because one of the things that I do to relieve my stress is time management. I manage my time well. I could have canceled this and just put in a pre-recorded video, but I decided no, I'm going to come to you live from here to stress the importance of what it is I'm talking about. And and so I just wanted to give you an example of what that. It does not have to be Mexico, obviously. This is only my second time to Mexico in my whole life, and I'm 58 years old. Um, But mainly what's actually relaxing is not even so much being in Mexico, it's being here with family. I'm here with my brothers-in-law, my husband and their wife, my brothers-in-laws and their wives, and it's actually being around family that is the most relaxing. And quite frankly, I could relax with them anywhere. They would reduce my stress no matter where we live, no matter where we're visiting, no matter what's happening, because people you love can really reduce the amount of stress hormones that your body experiences. Someone write, high stress levels can cause high eye pressure. Yes, and that can cause blindness. It would say yes, water relaxes you too. So if you have questions, you can put them on after the video. In my quest for stress relief, I am going to keep this short and I am going to enjoy my family, enjoy the beach, and I appreciate you tuning in. And I just wanted to use this as an opportunity to really underscore that when you are under stress, find things that help you relax. So, have a good evening, and I will see you next Tuesday for Dr. Toomer Talks Show and from home because I'll be back home by then. All right. Good night.